Hello, welcome back to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So I just booted up the game and I was thinking to myself as I went to the other room to get my cup of tea, I was thinking, was I meant to have saved the game or something last time? I didn't see an option, but I was a little bit worried I might have just lost what progress doesn't really matter, but you know. And it asked me to put the time in again, and I thought, oh shit, I haven't saved it somehow. But now this has come up. I did put the time in like 1 minute behind. So I thought that might have been it, but no, this is new content. Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you booted up the game. Oh, disgusting. You're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how you care about this. Yes, I'm paying attention. I'll make you a deal. Okay, what's the deal? Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favourite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. Good lord. Okay. Let's go again. Didn't do anything there. The end is never the end.
This is the...
Oh, you're ready, mate. Welcome back! It's me!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No input for us. I'll look at the new content another day. What I wanted to do...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the
jump
meeting
off the lift,
room,
see what
and
happened.
Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
missed 4
first,
for 4 again.
just to
What the
admire
hell?
it.
That is what I want to do. And I'm going to do it right now.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Did he now? No, he didn't. Yeah, I read they remade the game. I can't remember what it was made in originally, but they remade it entirely in Unity.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible
impressive.
he wasn't fired years ago.
Right, let's ump off.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Yeah, I'm powerful. Oh, I need to turn the volume up a little bit. Forgot that. I normally whack it down, but for this one where it's like narration based, I thought I'd leave it... Partition Corp. Providing partitions for 56 years. Yeah, I'll leave it turned up so you can hear the narrator properly.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Memo. Input. Keep it out for 4.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go...
Wow.
If you go through the corridor, it just takes you...
This room. What a beautiful room.
Oh!
What a gorgeous, gorgeous room.
It certainly is.
Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
I gaff. Just left our notes. Anyway,
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
so yeah, that'll take you back to what we saw in the first run, but let's go down here.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
There's nowhere else to go.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Thanks very much.
No, not the right.
You're right.
Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Can we have some light jazz to pass the time?
Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right.
EA select start.
Okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oh. This looks safe. Oh, hang on.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Just someone came here first.
We just had to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
I'm remembering this bit now. I'm remembering it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No input. Input. No input. That's not new content.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
What?
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something
because of the windows.
change?
Got settings,
Stanley, did
sensors.
you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the
think
story
so.
somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
Get your shit
It was
together,
right
man.
here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure.
Adventure!
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Oh, hell yeah. Don't think that's it. Oh, that's so spooky. I love it. It's very House of Leaves. Everyone knows what you did. They're just holding back to let you torture yourself. Inner guilt. That's not it.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
A mamoo. I missed a mamoo. That's how we say that. My eye.
Okay, yep, it's
worse.
I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
This doesn't look a lot better. See a map of this office.
I knew we'd miss something. The story.
Wait a minute.
Here it comes.
This doesn't seem right.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Oh. Wait a minute.
Now this Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Hooray!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Thanks.
Oh,
Now
no.
what?
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Right, let's go. Yes, here we go. It's my favourite one.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
All right, let's go. Oh, ooh, solitaire. Don't mind if I do. Okay. Clearly, it minds if I do. Ooh.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley.
So this is
to
quite fun
destiny.
because you get to like move up through the
Here's a
hierarchy of
thought.
the company.
Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there?
The
Or
offices
to put
like
it
get
another
nicer and
way,
nicer.
Is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Dum da da dum da dum da dum da da dum da dum dum da dum da da dum da da dum da da Annual reviews, monthly ledgers, corporate imbalances, consolidation reports, departmental accounts, and the rest. We've got personnel files. Oh, we'll come back. Employee 432 peer reviews. A fucking corridor. I know. It's like I lost it. Wait, here we go. Personnel files.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Okay.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay, got it.
Wait
a minute.
We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable,
What was that
right?
one?
The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Oh, whatever.
No,
Everything
again.
brings
How
us
could
back
you
here.
have done this to us? And after we trusted
How could you? Line
after
TM.
everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Right.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us?
Yeah.
We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we
Right?
make up our own story? Something
Well-
exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Right, let's do it. I have a very bad feeling
Now,
about this.
Yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
I know where we're
What do
going to
you
end up.
want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
not fucking a way
Whatever it
about.
might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms.
TM.
Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
It. I love that they put that in the subtitles. Jesus. Oh, there he goes. Just ignore it. Just walk away. I still know where we're going to end up. Oh, okay. This is new.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision.
Maybe I
From
was wrong.
here, the story is in our control.
Hell yeah.
How important we mustn't squander the opportunity.
I'd love a room
In
like
fact,
this.
I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So
Right.
starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the
And you
answer
say anyone
is
that's
clear
left?
yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic.
Hooray.
Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Just make myself not dizzy. Oh, hang on a minute.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
Dungeons, philosophy, and music.
That's really how all this goes?
Find the confusing ending schedule.
Determined?
You need to forget about previous
So now,
restarts.
according to the schedule, I restart
Unable
again.
to go anywhere.
Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget?
Attempt to make.
My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
After a long time, Stanley
Well,
dies.
Who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide?
That's so
Why
good.
don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
No.
Does that mean
We're free.
did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh. Well then.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Now, will we get anything for doing that again? Is it worth a look? I think it's worth a look, don't you? Let's
All of
play
his co-workers
Editing
were gone.
Jeopardy.
What
Will
could it
Christian
mean?
have cut that from the episode?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Can I see 444 anywhere? Not yet. Not ever.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, he did not.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
I get a biscuit.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please
Why not?
offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
The broom closet ending is my favourite. That's why.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
I'm a politician.
That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species.
Damn.
Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony
It is important.
and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Right, I think that is everything.
Ah, second player. Good to have you on board. I guarantee you. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Red.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
Indeed.
All because he believed everyone had vanished.
Wait.
His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Woo.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
There must be a theory of Stanley is in hell.
My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
No, I tried to find I almost got to the next door with my eyes closed.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real.
I have a boss.
Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Plot twist.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
This
It was
man
comforting to
didn't.
think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she
Singularly
remembered the
cruel.
meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
There you go. I had a thought once when I was at school that, like, if you went through life, if you just imagined everyone around you, how long would it take for you to figure that out? Because if you only spoke to people that never spoke to anyone else, like if you just didn't speak to people and only spoke to people who were in your head, would you ever notice?
All of his
never
co-workers
know.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
have to
decided to
rely on
go to the
people telling
meeting
you.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Anyway, thought for the day. Thought for the day. No input. Right, let's look at the new content. We've put it off long enough.
Oh, new content?
Hell yeah.
What does that mean, new content?
Oh shit.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable
Hang on, who's
Ultra
that?
Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the
Lovely
beginning
brickwork.
of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh,
there we go.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content.
I hope there's a room that just
I've
sounds
never
of
been more
bees.
ready. Let's do it.
Sorry, I hope there's a room that just sounds of bees. Like in the emails. Are we gonna...
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious.
Mostly
It's as if
tedious.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh my god.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh my god, you can jump!
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
God. That's it. No more jumping. I love the sort of noise it made. Oh god. Is that literally going to be it?
Goodness. Another elevator.
I know, we're going-
Stanley, I have to say,
Going up again.
initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good.
Very good.
Yes.
Is that the crouching
I knew
circle?
there had to be something else.
Oh.
Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Interesting room.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a
Damn
cheap
you, Davey
expansion
Reedon.
to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm
wonder if it's ever
infuriated
possible
and I'm
to get that
offended, and
achievement.
I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
That is the thing to do.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
Oh,
What do you say, friend?
not your friend, guy. Oh dear. Just a picture of what you used to. Oh.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
All right. How do I? Ooh. Interesting.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to
cheers.
be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable
Oh, we're going
used
back to the
be.
original
So I made something special
mod
and
version.
tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
No, we're not. The Church of Stanley. Now that they've got the fucking new game engine, they can use some different assets.
I call it the Memory
Memory
Zone.
Zone.
It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life
This is-
whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
So, there's a really, really old running gag that me and my mates have from this channel about the memory house. There's literally a memory house here. Cease and desist is on its way to Crows.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Who's that? Bruce Straley, The Last of Us. No, the Stanley Parable. "2013. The fuck is this? The original remake. Jesus. What the fuck is this clicks on the... Jesus. Good times. The room with the monitors, room with the table, the two doors. Smile because it happened. A trip down memory lane. Visual soundtrack. Oh. Bits of music. I don't know, there's a soundtrack. What? Oh, the demo was so fucking good. I have to break that out again. I forgot most of the jokes from it by now. Amazing. I did get Go Outside in the end. Super Go Outside's going to be a Pain in the bum. Creatures surprisingly down to earth. It was front page news, of course. Oh. I don't know the story of little Stanley. It sounds like something from one of the Kraftwerk's early albums. No, not anymore.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing.
Nothing.
It's no games at all.
Yes.
It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
I agree with this. Dear Esther's fucking boring. I don't understand how people can call them games. Anyway. It was good. Oh yeah, the portal bit. The buttons, the models, the person. Oh, original shit. Oh damn. The blue door and the red door. Good times. I remember all that. Oh, holy shit! I wish I had a fucking tie and everything as well. That's amazing. Probably not that said the Stanley Parable on it. Verse 29. I don't remember that bit. Is that in the demo? I feel like I might have been in the demo. You can't literally anything.
Here's another moving passage, this
source,
time
right.
from GameSpot.com.
That was
The
in
Stanley
Unity.
Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of
Dom's
choice in
famous
games, and
repeatable
one that
commentary.
offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game.
Missing
9 out of
co-workers
10.
scenario.
Don't you get it, Stanley?
Jesus.
The game
Meeting
was
for
perfect.
the blue meeting
It
rooms.
didn't need anything else. It didn't
Amazing.
need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved
Dude,
video
that's Skyrim,
game
innit?
memories.
That's funny. I'm only 9. Caroline Petit. The serious room. Holy shit. How do I get up here? Am I missing something here?
These were simpler times,
There we
Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Steam
What's
reviews.
this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor.
So
I
good.
haven't looked at these in years. I can't even
wonder if they're
imagine
gonna
what's been collecting
read
down
out like
here.
genuine bad reviews.
Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh, here we are.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny.
Oh, I hope that's a real one.
With his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating
real
than
person.
entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oh no, you can stick 'em, mate.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite
I'm
shocking
a
for
really
me.
big fan of the
I
original
always
Stanley
would.
Parable.
To
I
be
played it a
honest, I
lot.
had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather
I had
terse
2.4
to begin
hours on
with.
record.
You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it
2.4.
did, but maybe it wasn't.
This guy hates it so much, he
Yeah.
played it for 3.1
What an
hours.
awful memory to have
just-
to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise
Some people are
unimpeachable
just looking
track
for an
record.
excuse to be negative about something,
I
aren't
feel
they?
like a failure. Like I let these people
Yeah,
down.
well, I'm better than everyone else, so
Perhaps
I'm going
the
to say that I don't
Stanley
like it.
Parable isn't quite
And I'm
as
going to play
sterling
through
as
the
I
whole
always
thing
remembered.
and say how much I don't like it the whole time. Sad, sad people. Anyway. I wasn't listening to the narrator then because I was on my high horse.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that.
Ooh.
If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record.
Oh dear.
Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
God. Well, let's skip.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people.
Oh.
And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up.
Exactly
Here,
what I'm going to do.
We'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable
gonna
monologue.
sit and wait.
And it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and
Whatever.
therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time,
Oh, do we?
at which time everything all at once. So, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards. The deduction, therefore, becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's
Lunchtime
the
is an
only
illusion.
thing there is. How many
Lovely.
billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming
Oh.
it is, so on and so forth,
It just
until
repeats.
inevitably, we all
Clever.
until the end of time. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise.
Oh.
Or maybe a manifesto.
Oh.
Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice.
Right.
That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being,
Which I don't.
then by making no choice and saying nothing,
Which I
are
do.
you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which
No.
you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought?
Absolutely
or rather,
not.
do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once.
Wow.
That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them.
That makes sense.
Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and
Okay.
slap the treatise label on this one.
Not
I think
a
it has much more of a
hypothesis?
treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition.
It
and
does make me
history.
think of like
Ambitious
mass
history, if you
shooters, if
will.
I'm honest.
See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto.
Sorry to
Heavens,
confuse
at this
you.
rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in
Is
repeated
this what we're
succession
gonna repeat?
until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley.
Is this gonna
It's
be-
rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise.
It's like
manifesto.
the baby game,
Treatise.
where it goes on for
manifesto.
4 hours.
Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto.
Sing along at home, you know the words.
Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto.
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 Manifesto. Manifesto.
Manifesto.
Manifesto.
Treatise.
Treatise.
Manifesto.
Manifesto.
Treatise.
Treatise.
Manifesto.
Treatise.
Manifesto.
Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise.
Treatise.
Manifesto.
Manifesto.
Right, let's do it.
Manifesto. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The
Wow.
minute I start to go off on a thoughtless
powerful.
display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam
Fucking
review,
hope so.
or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that
is
would
it
have been the
anyway?
smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run
Mr.
out
Steam.
and implement a new feature to make it
The top of
possible
that.
to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused.
Oh, yes.
Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Audio,
How else to
glitch.
describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and
Half-Life.
changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all
Yes.
media ever made. it is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering
Into
a
gold.
message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If
Almost
there
a
is
poem.
any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this.
Skip
What
button.
a fortune,
Oh.
a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world,
This is like the
there is
euphoric
time
guy
for
on
us to
Reddit.
become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review.
That is a review.
It's perfect. It's the
10 out of
perfect
10.
review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. Well, I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time. From the ashes of
Oh.
depravity,
That's a
rise.
shame that they did that.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time
losing
the
the
button
culture
has
there.
been skipping through is becoming longer and longer.
Oh.
That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly
door.
demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
You have to keep
I
skipping
do
until
feel
it
quite
disintegrates.
certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A
Porthole.
sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to
All
move
just
on and to
a-
please
another
step away
crack
from
on
the
the
skip
wall.
button to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely
shit.
gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative
moral of the
feedback.
story.
Why was it so important
The
for
morale
me
of the
to
story.
fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me?
damn
I've
it,
never
Cookie
even
Nine.
met Cookie Nine. I have no idea.
Oh God, I really
who
hope that's
they
a real
are.
username.
What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I
Child
can't
and
stop
impulsive.
myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a
I
single
love how they
negative comment.
gave him
What does such an impulse
really
serve? For
long
whose benefit is
speeches
this?
in this room.
Here I am now, stuck in a room,
To
waiting
tempt
for
you
you
into
to
the skip
press this
button.
button and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it and that I'm going to be stuck all alone. That I had the power to prevent it all from happening if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now.
Difficult to hold your
Just
tongue though,
you,
because it's slippery with the
just your
saliva.
decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety.
Still
that
going.
you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God.
Oh.
And it's all because of those
It literally just
reviews.
loops this time.
Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't. Oh, Stanley, you're
Yeah,
back.
lights are going. I thought
You're
they were.
back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to
How long's it
again.
been?
Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
Wow.
Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking?
The skip button didn't
Isn't
change
Stanley?
anything.
It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening.
It's very meta.
I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real.
Ooh.
Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps. Yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me.
Just
When
don't
you
do it
press
then.
that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to
Fewer
speak
and
to you
fewer
now,
reels.
I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone.
A
I am
human going.
something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it. To think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Like 10 years or something now.
Oh,
Oh, the light's gone.
hello, it's you.
Ah.
You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe
Yes, I
it for
have.
you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning
gears.
wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe
Pure
as the
hatred.
collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Or he's not talking to me anymore. I just have to press it again. Oh. Smoke alarm's going off. Not our problem.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, "Entertain us." It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands.
Actually, how I feel about
he's
it.
talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, "Oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it." Then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, We require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think. To feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amused them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point.
Was a good loop.
It was meant to... The end is never the end, 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 is never...
I thought that was a door. Oh. Not the plant. Deluxe. Deluxe. Oh, fell off the ladder. Didn't have anyone supporting it. Let them in. You can't jump. Seriously, we disabled it. This is quite neat, actually. Oh, something else has happened. Looks like blood at the wall or something. Suddenly turns into a horror game. Oh. The fuck? Oh. The concrete slabs. Someone's been watching Dark. Wow, there we go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
He's not Mr. Memo, he's Stanley. New content. Holy shit.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
I'm actually going to leave it there though. Cliffhanger. We'll do the new content next time. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.